we braai. Because braai is not like Christmas. It happens more than once a year. When at home and doing a braai, it gives you a bit more time than when you're camping to try new things. I've always enjoyed a very good Boerewors. And when I go down to Cape Town, you get to the Karoo and even further than that, every padstal that you stop at, you can get a very nice Roosterkoek. Now Roosterkoek's it's not rocket science. It's a bit of dough that you braai on some coals. And to get that right is, well, it takes a few tries, but you eventually get it, and it's actually quite nice. Now, when the guys from the Cape come up here, they normally tell us that now to come up here, they have to cross the Boerewors curtain, because we love our Boerewors up here. So and the Roosterkoek that you buy up there, normally it's some cheese or some jams or whatever. Meat is the ingredient that I normally miss up there. They do a bacon and egg type breakfast type of thing, but it's not exactly what I like. So tonight I'm gonna do a South meets North. I'm gonna do a very nice Boerewors. I don't think the guys in the Cape, sorry guys in the Cape, I don't think they can braai Boerewors like us guys up here. I know the guys in the Kalahari, they know how to braai good Boerewors. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do a Roosterkoek with some Boerewors, with some nice onions. It's going to be juicy, it's going to be good. I don't want to sound like Trump, but it's going to be excellent. Have you heard the one about the caveman, what he told his wife? No fire, no food. The important thing about building a fire is that you need oxygen. So the way you pack your fire is extremely important. I pack it in a kind of a little place where you would keep animals in, to make sure that it gets enough oxygen into the whole enclosure, if you will. A good wood is also important. In Africa, you know a good wood if it's red. When starting a fire, there's nothing better than one of these it's cheaper than your normal firelighters. It burns quite nicely, and even if your wood isn't wet, which sometimes do happen, you don't know when you buy that packet of wood whether it's dry or wet. This seems to sort it out. Obviously a dry wood is much better when braaiing a bit of meat. For the mere reason is that nice wood taste gets into the meat. With a wet wood smoke is just not that cool. In cutting onions, the easiest way I found is, I'm no Gordon Ramsay, but I cut them down in the middle, and then I cut with the grains. You can see the grains running over there, so I just go with the grains. And that's some onions. When doing this dish, there's one small little secret I want to teach you, and that is onions. So what happens with onions and Boerewors is it's a match made in heaven, because what happens is once you've sauteed your onions a bit, your boerewors comes off the fire, and then you put it into the cast iron pot on top of the onions. Now, two things happens here, and so onions on a boerewors roll is extraordinary. But with the boerewors lying on top of those onions, it now, some of those juices marries the onions. And the moist from the onions now keeps the boerewors moist, because nobody likes a dry boerewors roll. For now, let's start the oven. Dutch oven. You know, our Boers are descendant of Dutch. Not all of us. Some of us are German, French, whatever. So this boerewors has been hanging here now for, I think it's very close to 3 hours. The main character in this dish is the boerewors. When braaiing boerewors, it's important that you first wind dry it a bit, because obviously when you put it on the hot flames, we'll get to that a bit later, but when you put it on the hot flames, you don't want the skin to burst on it, the casing. So what we do is, we take this toetneprooster. There's a few words that English just doesn't have. Toetneprooster is one of them. You put the boerewors in here. Now, you have to test the boerewors when it's in this state. Fantastic. And then you hang it. And it needs to hang there for at least 2 hours. So what happens is all the moist that's on the boerewors then dissipates, and when you put it on the fire, the casing doesn't burst. Fantastic. It's quite dry. I think it's perfect. The fire is quite hot. I think it's very important to put your boerewors on a hot fire. It's almost like braaiing a steak. You don't want to put your steak on a cold fire. So let's go for it. Hot coals, you only turn it once. You turn it once, that side that's underneath is now very nicely braaied. You turn it over, you braai the other side, and then your wors is ready. We're going to do the onions now. I've got some very nice virgin olive oil. I know Gordon Ramsay says don't do olive oil hot. What does he know? He knows how to shout at people. I've got some very nice garlic here, because life's too short not to have garlic. If you don't like garlic, don't eat. The onions I've chopped. Normally I like the red onions, but these will work fine. I just need to get these guys glazed before the boerewors is good. Oh, sizzling. Now you don't want to burn your garlic, so the onions need to get in here, save the garlic. a bit of black pepper. In the meantime, don't forget about your Boerewors. It looks perfect. It looks beautiful. Oh, divine. Now, obviously, you don't want to overcook this. The plan here is to just saute. It must just get that glaze on, because what's going to happen is I'm going to take the Boerewors off there when it's done, and then onto the onions, and then they're going to marry each other, and it's going to be beautiful. And I'm stirring it too much, because normally when people stir so much, I almost feel like I want to shout it. And just leave it, trust the process, let it do its thing. But it's so enjoyable. I wish you guys could see. Can we get a camera in here? This is beautiful. This sound, the smell. I wish you guys could smell this. This is unbelievable. You got that? You got that. If you want to sell a house, and you know people are coming to view your house, there are two things you can do to make the house feel homely. Fry some eggs, fry some onions in a pan, or make some really nice coffee. It will smell so homely, those people will buy a house. I made this once in the Kruger National Park. The guy camping next to me almost bought the old bloody Kruger. Once these onions start to get a bit soft, they're not glazed yet, they're just soft. Here comes the pro tip. Turn your heat down a bit. Your Boerewors is going to take much longer than this. And then some of these cherry tomatoes. This stuff is, I know that the ladies like to put it in a salad, but this stuff is, once they get a bit hot, you won't believe how sweet it is. You put these cherry tomatoes in, and obviously now you finish stirring, because you don't want them to burst. You want them to burst once they get into your mouth, and that delicious flavor, sweet flavor burst gets in there. Unbelievable. I'm just going to spread them out a bit, and I'm going to let it. Oh, but the sound. Unbelievable. And here you can hear. Cameraman, get over here! Listen to this. Is there anything more beautiful than a sizzling Boerewors on a hot toast? Can you hear it? Beautiful. I can smell it, I can taste it already in my mouth. Let's check it. Almost there. So the smoky goodness is doing wonders to this meat. And when it looks like that, you know it's time to turn. In the meantime, over here, we've got this going on. Now, you don't want it to burn, so, okay. Beautiful. By the time the Boerewors goes in here, all that beer, all the alcohol is gone. So once your Boerewors is brown, nice and brown on both sides, you can take it off the coals. I can't tell you how long it must stay on there, because your coals might not be as hot or as cold or whatever as mine. But once we're there, you can see this bad boy is cooked right through. It's juicy. It's absolutely delicious. Now, we go in here for that marriage. Oh, look at that goodness dripping out there. That goodness all goes into the onions, and once you put it on that roll, that's going to be delicious. It's so soft, I'm actually scared it's going to break when I put it in there. Beautiful. So main character is getting married there with the onions. We close the door, they can do their thing there. This dough I've prepared this morning. It's a beautiful dough. What needs to happen now is we need to make some askoeken. For this purpose, I need to knead it down a bit. What we should remember is we need them to look like something that's going to work with that Boerewors. So they can't be too small. Somewhere there. Then they go in, yeah? The guys in the cap to make them a bit more square, but it's roughly about the same size. But yeah, they're very neat about there. And there we go. Start to get a bit of brown. Time to turn. I think I can fit about one more in there. But yeah, you go about it until they're all done. Oh, perfect. Just a little bit of butter. And when I say a little bit, really, just a little bit. Unbelievable goodness. Yeah, we've got some Rockford. That goes to the top. Then to our star of the show. And for the next part you need to dig. Those lovely cherry tomatoes with some onions. Can't help but use my hands for those. Oh, unbelievable goodness. With that, I like a bit of a tomato chutney, green tomato chutney. Just a little bit. And then it's done. Goodness gracious me. Beautiful. Delicious. To die for.